Yo, what is up guys? In my last video I talked about what is the happiness bonus needed for your pets for level 4 PvP, and the video before that I talked about what base pets are needed for level 4 PvP. Now we're going to be talking about the Arcane abilities needed to give you that competitive advantage in level 4 PvP. Let's get into it. Alright guys, so we want to start off first and foremost with the big tree. The big tree, of course, we all talking about Radivern, Glowstick, and of course Necro. Now we all know that we have Frostfire gems and we have the Hailstone gem. The Hailstone gem freezes you, the Frostfire gem does burst damage. To be able to defend yourself from these gems, you want to be able to use one of the big three, which is Radivern, Necro, or Glowstick, simply because the shields protect you from being frozen, and that is a big thing in level 4 PvP, because once you're frozen you're basically dead. So you wanna get Radivern. Of course, this is the top of the top simply because it does a decent amount of damage to the player. It makes the pet a little bit stronger, and the shield lasts for about 10 seconds. The next best one you want to get, of course, is Necro. You could use Necro or you could use his counterparts. So there's Arcanite Necro, there's also the regular Necro, and there's the gold Necro as well. I have them actually here as under a bunch of different names, so it's hard to find them when I'm looking for them actually. Yeah, so we have regular Necro, which basically does the same shield as the gold version. Where is the gold version? Yeah, then we have Radivern, which basically does the same thing, but this is slightly different simply because it does a green shield, which basically does massive damage, has a chance to banish. The banish doesn't work in PvP though, but it has a chance to banish, and it also increases the pet's base attack. So if the pet usually does like 100 damage, once you use the Arcane ability, the pet will probably do like 150 to 200 damage. And then finally we have Glowstick, which basically does a shield as well, but what this shield specifically does is when other players do damage to you, you actually heal instead of actually taking damage. So whereas the Necro shield and the Radivern shield will actually reduce incoming damage, this actually does a damage conversion where it actually takes the damage that you have taken and replenishes it as health to the player basically. So those are the big three that you want to get. You definitely, no if, no buts, no maybe, you definitely need to get those three. Because if you're doing 1v1s, you definitely want to use Radivern. If you're doing 2v2s, you definitely want to have Radivern, and your partner definitely wants to have Necro. If you're doing 3v3s, you definitely want to have Radivern, your partner want to have Necro, and your third partner definitely want to have Glowstick. If you're doing 4v4s, now we're talking about 4v4s and 5v5s, which is like advanced group combat. This is where things get a bit tricky. I want to talk about pets that could actually give you that competitive advantage in like 4v4s, 5v5. The first one comes to mind, my boy Albert. Now Albert is really good simply because of the fact it reduces speed. On top of reducing speed, it reduces hit chance, which basically reduces the chance of a player landing hits on you, and on top of that as well, it also reduces armor by 75%. Now you know how much is 75%? If a player armor is like 1,000, that reducing your armor from 1,000 to 250. So let's say I usually land about 100 150 damage when a player armor is 1,000. Once I use Albert, that 100 to 150 damage go into about 200, 250, 275, 300, because your armor is so low now that the damage that you're gonna take is almost double, triple. So this is definitely a good pet to use for if you're in 4v4s and 5v5s. Some players usually run Necro with Radivern and Albert in 3v3, so sometimes they'll use like 2 shields, and they'll use like 1 heroic Albert as well. That is also a good combo as well too. So Albert is definitely a must that you want to get. I personally suggest getting all these pets. Every pet that I'm listing here, you guys should get one of each. Definitely it's a must to get one of each of these pets. The next pet I'm going to tell you guys to get, of course, is Heroic God Weaver. Now Heroic God Weaver is basically the opposite, I would say, of Albert. So Albert is a highly offensive pet. I would say Heroic God Weaver is a highly offensive pet. What does this pet do? Now this pet heals. This pet all heals roughly about 50% of your total health and 50% of your total mana when you use the ability. On top of restoring 50% HP and MP, it also gives you 20% damage reduction. So it's like the Necro Shield in the sense that it reduces incoming damage, but it also heals the player as well. But the only issue with this is that it doesn't protect you from being frozen. So you could still get frozen and you could still get that Frostfire proc burst damage on you as well. So it's really that good for like 1v1s to 3v3s, but if you're in like 4v4s and 5v5s where you already have shield coverage, it's a really good addition to the team to be able to cancel out all that damage you'll be taking on. So if you're doing like 5v5, I will definitely suggest 3 players running the big 3, which would be Radiverd, Necro, Glowstick. The 4th player could run Heroic Albert, and the 5th player could run Heroic God Weaver. And that's it. That's a perfect setup right there. Perfection. You don't need to ask for any other pets than those 5 pets. Those are the top 5 pets I would say you need. Every other pet is just pets to try out. Honestly, it's just like I have my Albert here. All the other pets is just pets to try out. Another pet people like to use is Arcane. Arcane is situational. It also gives you a shield. It has a chance to reflect damage. In PvP, the reflect damage doesn't really do what it's supposed to do, and it also does not protect you from being frozen, and that is the main important thing. Being able to protect yourself from being frozen is the most important thing in PvP, because once you're frozen, you're basically a sitting duck. You're dead. That's it. So you definitely want to get the 5 pets that I listed, which are Necro, Glowstick, Radivern, God Weaver, and Albert.